Hello and welcome to the Wednesday check-in here on Landy's Crypto Corner. Today is April 23rd, 2025, and we're looking at Bitcoin. As always, we will take a look at Ethereum and Solana. We've had a lot of targets hit to the upside, and we've seen now what we want to see, at least on the daily, for a nice range recovery. And we need to see this hold through the weekly. That's the big thing. And now Bitcoin's got a little bit of room, even if it does want to put in this nice higher high. So let's talk about it. We're going to get into it. And then, of course, as we get in towards the Friday wrap up, we're going to get into some more detail on what to look for over the weekend. But as it stands right now, this is a really nice positive sign for price action on Bitcoin. We have seen some follow through with alts following their USD pair side, making up a little bit of ground on the BTC pair side here and there, but overall Bitcoin dominance has been up as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at kind of, what we were talking about on Monday, and that was testing up to the overhead resistance here and this area right above at the 168 or 16.8% above where this nice higher low was coming in. Also where the first bearish candle post expansion was coming in on a close open. Very important level. Needed to regain that. Was front run, a couple times there. Finally busted on through. And we even got a nice little short squeeze because a lot of people went short in this area. And they got squeezed out as soon as it was on a minute candle. We should actually go take a look at that. It's kind of a thing of beauty in the way that Bitcoin operates here. And just how clean Bitcoin is and really has been for a very long time. But on the close right above 92, we got a $2,000 shot up on a minute candle, just squeezing out all the shorts that were, taking their short positions between that 88.7, 89K to 92. But we even got a nice little retest of it and a close above this big weekly at 93.5. So we're kind of between this 93.5 and you can call it $95,000 to $96,000, the consolidation post expansion down through the downside supports. And that does mean that now that Bitcoin has shown that it can close at least on a daily above that weekly higher low. And we do have a test at 92, that if we do see price trading back down towards 92 and losing it and putting in a high, what I'd like to see, and there is still room beyond this point, but what I would like to see is for the bulls to try and flip this zone into support, right? So where the swings are coming in, where the first big higher low after the first bearish candle came in, between that 92 and 88.7, flip this area back into support. And other than that, if it did fall below there, I'm looking at 85 again. Need to see that area hold up, that inflection point down there. And then it's really about watching, the 84 to $83,000 consolidation lows. Is there a little bit of swing room in there? Yeah, but realistically, if that starts to lose that, then we're playing in the weak half of the lows here. So what I'm going to be watching on the daily going forward here is, if trading above 93.5, the bias is that we see price play back up to, kind of 95, 96,000 area, anywhere above there. Top side of this consolidation around $100,000 fair game to that 101 to 104 area, all fair game. Even higher is possible, right back to the highs is very possible. Again, I don't really want to see price race back to the highs although it does give price room. We just have to, I'd like to see constructive price action play out. But it really does depend on how much appetite the shorts have right now. Because that's really what could propel Bitcoin through these levels. And it wouldn't take much to kind of shake out some of those positions that are starting to open back up. We have seen a little bit of kind of flip-flopping between short open interest and long open interest in the markets. So, it's kind of about even right now as it sits on this weekly higher low structure. or the last weekly higher low structure. But, pretty straightforward stuff here. The big thing is, like I've said, I need to absolutely see daily closes back above this 95. The retest of the bottom side of this consolidation, post expansion down. Let's see what the bands are telling us as it relates to support and resistance for this nice little uptrend. We have the upper second standard deviation. Bitcoin did get a close open above. We now have the upper third up there at, where are we? 90. Hold on, my arrow's getting in the way there. 98.5. If Bitcoin does, start to, get to the $95,000 to $96,000, because this is still an ongoing expansion on the daily, 87 over 60 here. So this is still a healthy expansion. So lower term time frames kind of above 93.5, pushing towards 95. If we see that, we will see this upper third likely stretch out to the $99,000 to $100,000 area. So right across, right now it's pretty much just shy of this 99.5. I could see that if let's say it happened today, on the Thursday candle. Now it is Wednesday still for me, but the Thursday session is open. If it does stretch out up there, I could definitely see that $100,000 area as a potential area of interest, just to kind of get in the thick of it up there. But again, the upper second, we do have to be aware of, if we start to see, even lower term time frame closes, probably going to test down to 92. That's a logical area to test again. And then, of course, as I mentioned, then we're starting to look for Bitcoin to try, if we're looking to see if the bulls are going to try and flip this area back into support again, after being resistance. So, and that's 92 to 88.7 to be very specific, but you can call it 92 to 89 essentially by the upper first here. So closes above the upper first, still good. And I want to see higher low structure. Yeah, the last swing at 84 is something that we have to pay attention to, but I'd say danger below 85. You see the basis band sliding in right under there right now. So that's kind of where this rally kind of falls apart and turns probably pretty bearish, at least on the daily, to retest the lows and maybe even lower and try to build divergence or something. But as it stands right now, this is a nice expansion up in reclaim of the range, and even a nice little retest on the daily. We'll see how it pans out through the Thursday into Friday session, and we'll follow up with it on Friday. Now, I do want to relate this back to the weekly real quick, because the weekly now, no matter what, is going to make higher highs, right? So it is, man, it's such a thing of beauty, just sitting right at that weekly higher low. But what I want to see here, when we take support and resistance away, I'm not really too concerned about that right now. I think we kind of got it, especially you've been watching these videos for a little while. But we're in higher high structure no matter what. So we do have a downtrend break on a swing at minimum, no matter what happens, right? What I want to see is closes above $89,000. You can take 8,800 at the lower high here. That's fine. No biggie. I'd like to see all three things happen at the same time. Yes, there are technical indicators all over the place that are going to say this candle right here coming into this week set the low on a close. For me, that's not good enough. I needed to see closes above 86 and preferably closes above the swing high at, $88,800, $89,000. So for me, as a more conservative take on that, a close anywhere here or higher, anywhere higher than $89,000 would not only be, for me, a solidified low in on a close, because we've already had the swing low confirmed on the green candle, the low in on a close, plus a trend break, plus a range reclaim and a higher low reclaim there would look really good. Then we're starting to look back to where? Around $100,000 by the upper first. And if it can start to get up there, above there, then we can look back to the 107, 108, possibly even a swing for the highs up there by the upper second. I still want to see structure being built, right? So as I mentioned on Monday, it doesn't really matter how high this rallies. we will see some sort of structure being built, right? We're going to then have to look for, from here, higher low, equal low structure as it relates to the last, low. In this case, the last lower low. So we want to build an uptrend, and that can be on a swing or a closing basis. Kind of like what we saw back here, where this was, another kind of, this was a higher low set. After, this higher high, we got into a higher low, nice high to swing higher low, then close that higher low, come up to a swing higher high, and then swing higher low. So building that swing structure at minimum, preferably closing structure even better, right? To find like a closing base of support on higher low, equal low structure from here. So I played out a few different scenarios on Monday's video if you want to go back and kind of scrub through. But that's, essentially what we're looking for. We know for sure we have higher high structure. We want to see a close that breaks above the last lower high at 89. So that's really where we're at. Nice. We got a green dot, but we won't get into that unless people really demand it. It doesn't mean much. It's DMI. It's just another confirmation signal of everything that we've been talking about. So 82.8, almost 82.9 is the pivot for the weekly. We'll keep an eye on that. And we'll touch on that again on on Friday. All right. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum tagged 1800 and above. Don't mind the LARP lines here. Just kind of, I was talking with somebody that wanted me to replicate and give my thoughts. I don't really use trend lines. But in this case, it did happen to line up with what they were talking about. But it's all in how you draw it. And it is in the eye of the beholder at that point. That's why I work on horizontal levels in this case. But other people have different styles and it works for them. So you do what works for you, especially if you have an established system. In this case, we got that upper second. We got the close above 1790. And I believe it came in like right at 1795. But we got the nice swing up to 1835. That's good. Can Ethereum start to dig itself out? That's the question, right? So if Bitcoin puts in a high, I essentially want to see the two spike lows here by the lower first hold up around 1538, 1533 by the lower first there. That needs to hold up. Start building some structure. Nice higher high. Need to see higher lows from here. If it can start to close above the upper second and push that upper third, great. It's right on the close open right here. And there's some closes in here as well. But realistically, we're looking to like 1950, 1956. And then, I think it's pretty safe to say that the next big area is the area I've been talking about a lot. 2100 on the bottom side to 2300 on the top for the weekly. For the daily specifically, close above 2320 would look really good to try for the twin tower candles at 2550. And I need to see that taken out, just like 95 on Bitcoin and 180 on Solana. So looks good so far. Let's see how it holds up through the Thursday session into Friday's session. So let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. Solana doing some things here. I like this. I like this a lot. Solana, like I said, stronger relatively. Did get its dip down into the next big weekly primary area within a big weekly area of interest. And we saw a nice higher low structure sitting now right on that 125, 126 area. And finally got that close above 147. Very encouraging. Even got the close above the swings over here at 153. No, it didn't get a close above there. I'm sorry. I totally said that wrong. No, it didn't get a close above this swing. So close above this swing at about 153 would look good, or take out yesterday's high. Then we can start looking to, you can take the swings on lower term time frames, probably 160, but realistically, upper second, anywhere above there at 156, we're looking at that upper third, lining up pretty perfectly with that 169. Nice. Need to see 180 taken out, right? The twin tower candles. Then I think it's a pretty safe bet that we'd see $200 fairly soon thereafter, but likely going to see some structure build out, right? If it's just green candles to the heavens, I would expect, some pushback. And then, we want to just see some healthy structure from there. But that's pretty much all I got for you today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening, no matter where you are in the world. Please trade safe. And of course, as always, stay safe. With all of that being said, Landy out. Take care.